Welcome to our video on the top 12 states with the highest inflation in the United States in 2024. As inflation continues to affect economies across the country, certain states are feeling the impact more acutely than others. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the states where rising costs are hitting the hardest, exploring the unique factors driving inflation in each region. From skyrocketing housing prices and surging energy costs to supply chain disruptions and population booms, we'll break down why these states are experiencing such significant inflationary pressures. Stay tuned to learn which states are facing the steepest challenges and how it could affect residents and potential movers alike. 12. Idaho. Idaho has experienced significant inflation in 2024, largely driven by a population boom that has outpaced the state's infrastructure and housing supply. Cities like Boise have seen a sharp rise in housing costs, with demand far exceeding supply. The state's economy, traditionally reliant on agriculture, has also been affected by rising costs for fuel and transportation, impacting the price of goods. Additionally, the influx of new residents has driven up demand for services, contributing to higher prices in sectors like healthcare, education, and retail. These factors have made Idaho one of the states with the highest inflation rates in 2024. 11. Georgia. Georgia has seen notable inflation in 2024, driven by rapid population growth, particularly in the Atlanta metropolitan area. The influx of new residents has put pressure on the housing market, leading to increased prices for both rentals and homes. Additionally, the state has faced rising energy costs, partly due to higher demand and partly due to the global rise in energy prices. Food and transportation costs have also surged, influenced by supply chain disruptions and increased fuel prices. Georgia's strong economic growth has also contributed to higher costs for services and consumer goods, placing the state among those with the highest inflation rates. 10. Hawaii. Hawaii's inflation issues in 2024 are largely a result of its geographical isolation and dependence on imported goods. The cost of living in Hawaii has always been high, but inflation has exacerbated the situation, with prices for food, fuel, and other essentials continuing to rise. The state's tourism industry, a major economic driver, has also contributed to inflation as demand for services and accommodations increases. Additionally, housing costs in Hawaii remain among the highest in the nation, further adding to the state's inflationary pressures. As a result, Hawaii residents face some of the highest costs of living in the country. 9. Oregon. Oregon's inflation in 2024 is primarily driven by its housing market, particularly in Portland and surrounding areas. The state has seen a surge in population, which has outpaced the supply of housing, leading to significant price increases. Energy costs have also risen, partly due to the state's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and transitioning to renewable energy sources. Additionally, the cost of food and transportation has increased, driven by supply chain disruptions and higher fuel prices. These factors have made Oregon one of the states with the highest inflation in 2024. 8. Washington. Washington State, particularly the Seattle metropolitan area, has seen significant inflation in 2024. The state's tech-driven economy has attracted a large influx of residents, driving up housing prices and rents to some of the highest levels in the country. The state's reliance on imported goods, coupled with global supply chain disruptions, has led to higher prices for food and consumer goods. Additionally, energy costs have risen, driven by both increased demand and the state's transition to greener energy sources. These factors combined have placed Washington among the states with the highest inflation rates. 7. Colorado. Colorado has experienced significant inflation in 2024, driven by rising housing costs in cities like Denver and Boulder. The state's growing population, attracted by its outdoor lifestyle and strong economy, has led to increased demand for housing, pushing prices higher. Additionally, Colorado's energy costs have risen, partly due to its efforts to transition to renewable energy sources. The cost of goods and services has also been impacted by supply chain disruptions and increased transportation costs. As a result, Colorado residents are facing higher living expenses, with inflation affecting nearly every aspect of daily life. 6. Arizona. Arizona's inflation in 2024 is largely driven by its booming housing market. The state has seen a significant influx of new residents, many from higher-cost states like California, driving up demand for housing and consequently prices. This population growth has also strained infrastructure and public services, contributing to higher costs across various sectors. Energy prices have risen due to increased demand, particularly during the hot summer months when air conditioning usage peaks. Additionally, Arizona has experienced rising costs in food and transportation, further contributing to its high inflation rate. 5. Nevada. Nevada, with its economy heavily reliant on tourism and gaming, has been hit hard by inflation in 2024. The rebound in tourism has driven up prices in the service sector, including hotels, dining, and entertainment. Housing costs in areas like Las Vegas have also risen sharply, fueled by both an influx of new residents and increased demand from investors. Additionally, Nevada's reliance on imported goods has made it particularly susceptible to global supply chain disruptions, leading to higher prices for everyday essentials. Energy costs have also risen, contributing to the state's overall inflationary pressure. 4. Texas. Texas, traditionally known for its affordable cost of living, has not been immune to inflation in 2024. The state's rapid population growth, particularly in major urban centers like Austin, Dallas, and Houston, has led to a sharp rise in housing costs. Energy prices have also surged, partly due to increased demand and partly due to global market fluctuations. Additionally, Texas has faced higher costs for food and transportation, driven by supply chain issues and rising fuel prices. While Texas continues to attract new residents, the increasing cost of living is beginning to challenge its appeal. 3. Florida. Florida's population boom has been a double-edged sword, contributing to high inflation in 2024. The influx of residents, many seeking lower taxes and warmer climates, has driven up housing demand, resulting in substantial price increases. Additionally, Florida's economy, heavily reliant on tourism, has seen price hikes in the hospitality and service sectors as demand has surged. Supply chain disruptions have also affected the cost of goods, particularly in food and energy, further fueling inflation. Despite Florida's reputation for a relatively low cost of living, these inflationary pressures are creating significant financial challenges for residents. 2. New York. New York's inflation challenges in 2024 stem largely from the high cost of living in its urban centers, particularly New York City. Housing remains a primary driver, with both rent and property prices climbing sharply. The state's heavy reliance on imported goods and energy, combined with ongoing supply chain issues, has led to significant price increases for essentials like food and utilities. Additionally, the recovery of the tourism sector post-pandemic has driven up service costs, contributing to inflation. The state's economic diversity, while a strength, also means that inflationary pressures are felt across multiple sectors. 1. California. California's inflation rate in 2024 has been significantly impacted by its skyrocketing housing market, which continues to outpace income growth. The demand for housing far exceeds supply, leading to sustained price increases in both rents and property values. Additionally, California's heavy reliance on imported goods has made it vulnerable to global supply chain disruptions, causing prices for everyday items to surge. Energy costs, driven by the state's transition to renewable energy and regulatory policies, have also spiked, affecting the cost of living across the board. The cumulative effect of these factors has placed California among the states with the highest inflation.